Everyone believes that intelligence is the key to success. But history tells us a very different story. Some of the smartest people who ever lived still lost everything. If intelligence alone guaranteed victory, the smartest people would have ruled history forever. But they didn't. Again and again, history shows brilliant minds making catastrophic decisions. Not because they lack knowledge, but because they misunderstood. They misunderstood. They misjudged trust. They underestimated ambition. And they failed to see betrayal before it arrived. The greatest battles in history were rarely decided by strength alone. They were decided by human nature. Fear, greed, loyalty, power. These invisible forces shaped the fate of nations. More than 2,000 years ago, ancient China became the greatest laboratory of strategy ever recorded. History has asked this question for thousands of years. Why do some leaders rise, while others lose everything? That civilization was ancient China, and one story has fascinated historians, strategists, and leaders for nearly 2,000 years. Many people believe intelligence is the most important quality of a great leader. History tells a different story. Intelligence opens doors, but it has never guaranteed success. Most people spend their lives collecting more information. They believe that knowing more naturally leads to making better decisions. History tells a different story. Information explains the facts, but judgment, timing, and an understanding of people determine the outcome. True leadership begins when facts become choices. Every important decision involves uncertainty, emotion, and people whose actions cannot be fully predicted. Some leaders possessed extraordinary intelligence, yet failed because they trusted the wrong people, acted too late, or misunderstood human ambition. Others, with less knowledge but better judgment, recognized opportunity earlier. They understood timing, relationships, and the hidden motivations behind every decision. This is why leadership has never been a competition of intelligence alone. It has always been a study of human nature, character, and difficult choices. Fear changes decisions. Loyalty creates opportunities. Ambition reshapes relationships in ways that people rarely expect. These invisible forces have influenced history for thousands of years. They often matter far more than intelligence alone. Thousands of years ago, one civilization carefully observed these patterns. Instead of writing theories, they preserved them through unforgettable stories. Those stories survive because they reveal something timeless. Technology evolves, societies change, but human nature remains remarkably familiar. To understand why brilliant people sometimes lose everything, we must first understand how people truly think, choose, trust, and lead. Every great story begins with a person. Ours begins with a man who believed that understanding people was more valuable than simply defeating them. He lived during one of the most unstable periods in Chinese history, when governments collapsed, loyalties shift, and uncertainty became part of everyday life. In that world, knowledge alone offered little protection. Every decision carried consequences that could not be reversed. Success depended on reading people accurately, understanding ambition, fear, trust, and timing before anyone else did. He observed carefully before acting. He listened more than he spoke. And when he finally made a decision, it was rarely based on emotion alone. His methods were not mysterious. They were built on observation, patience, preparation, and a deep understanding of human behavior. These ideas would later influence generals, rulers, scholars, business leaders, and strategists for centuries. His name was Cao Cao. To some, he was a villain. To others, he was one of history's most capable leaders. Before deciding who he really was, we must first understand the world that shaped him.